KGLD 1330 AM, K285GY 104.9 FM, Tyler.
It's your girl, Michelle D.I., Mrs. Divine Intervention herself. To all my helper bees out there, you know who you are. Those that are always helping everyone else and neglecting yourself. Yes, boo, look in the mirror. I'm talking to you. Here to let you know God has not forgotten about you. I've been sent on divine assignment. It's time for Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That means 30 minutes for your mind, your body, spirit, and emotions. And don't act like you don't have time. You have time for everyone and everything else. Sit back and relax because if you're here, that means this show is for you or it's for someone you know. But most likely, it's for both of y'all. Deep breaths, love. Let's go. Hey, family. Hey, family. Hey, family. It is your girl, honey. It is Michelle Allen Franklin, honey. Mrs. Michelle D.I.Y. for divine intervention, baby. Because you know there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And you know, your girl is a community builder because I love bringing you the good information, honey, the things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. It is Monday, honey, and we are on the radio. I am so happy, so excited. I have a question for you. What, where did January and February go? Where did it go, family? Are y'all feeling like that? Is the day going by? The days are going by. Oh my goodness, it is March already. But the beautiful part about March is so many beautiful things that happen. The weather starts getting a little bit better. You're going to start seeing some flowers and the trees are going to start coming. Oh, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, your girl wears multiple hats. Those of y'all that have been listening, y'all know your girl is a nurse. Been a nurse, be 25 years in August. Uh, and I love bringing you, of course, good information. Now, I'm on the radio every Monday at 1 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I'm on the radio every Monday, but your girl also has a podcast. My podcast is called Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. I am all about self mastery, all about discovering yourself, discovering your journey, having the hard conversations with who, boo? With you, with yourself. Yes. We're having the necessary, uncomfortable but necessary conversations that we need to have with ourselves over there. So if you want a little more of your girl, you like what you hear, what you've heard thus far, come on over to the podcast on YouTube, Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That is Reflections CMGF at YouTube. Come over and join us. This month, it is Women's History Month. And what your girl decides to do, if you don't know me, honey, you'll get to know. I like to do things a little different. And so, what I'm doing every day for the month of March, I thought for Women's History Month, I really could talk about women that I don't know, but I know amazing women. So, why not talk to the women in my life that had inspired and empowered me throughout my 47 years of living? Why not, right? And give them their flowers and hopefully inspire and empower you with their journey as they have done with me. And so I invite you to come over, subscribe while you over there, hit the button, boo, follow your girl. And any of the episodes, if you have missed them, they are over there on the podcast. Just go over there, slide on over where it says podcast, find it. It'll say we're on the radio, and you'll be able to listen to any of the episodes or the shows that you may have missed from your girl being on the radio since January. Okay, now for those of y'all have been following, you know that we are in the middle of a series called Matters of the Heart. February is cardiovascular is cardiovascular awareness month because cardiovascular is cardiovascular disease, excuse me, is the number one killer across the board. Doesn't matter all the diseases, who you are, man, woman, whatever. Across the board, number one killer is cardiovascular disease. And so for the month of February, we started a series, Batters of the Heart. And your girl every week focuses on a topic. So, first week is your mind, second week is your body, third week your spirit, fourth week is your emotions. Because we missed a week, 2 weeks, then we are a little bit behind. But nevertheless, it's my show. So, guess what? I can do what I want to do. And so, this week we are doing segment 3 of Matters of the Heart. And this is how um, matters of the heart affects your spirit. And so let's just jump into it. How does your spirit being affected affect your heart, right? Matters of the heart, that they are deeply connected to your spirit. Your heart and your spirit are deeply connected, shaping your emotions, your mental and your physical well-being. It is a self mastery journey, family. And so, understanding that the connection can bring healing, clarity, and peace. And who does not want some peace in their life, honey? Yes, peace is what I want for you. And so, here we are on the self mastery journey. It is one, two, three, four, let's see, 5 reasons here to tell you how the heart and the spirit are connected and why and important. Number one is your heart reflects your spirit. The heart is often seen as a center of emotions, but it also mirrors the state of your spirit. When your heart is burdened with pain, with bitterness, with unresolved trauma, it can cloud your spiritual connection and your inner peace. How many people know that that is true? When your heart is burdened with pain and bitterness or unresolved trauma, it can cloud your spiritual connection and your inner peace. Lord knows I was so heartbroken at one period and point in time in my life that the thoughts of suicide had came upon me. Now, can you imagine if you know me and anybody that knows me, that my spirit is so, I'm always pouring, I'm giving, I'm always happy, but life was really lifing at that period of point in time. And y'all, if you want to know anything about your girl, I am very intentional about being transparent about my journey because I don't believe that God is a just because God. So there's no part of my story that I'm ashamed of. There's no part of my story that I'm ever going to not tell because I need people to understand that somebody else is there, right? You might not be there, but maybe somebody else is there and need the story, right? I was not always in this great place that I am today. There was a period of point in time where my heart was heavy. It was broken. I've had some bitterness, right? I've had some unresolved trauma, and my spirit was heavy. Still going to church every Sunday, still singing, still, right, working in the church and all of the things, but my heart was heavy. And so, an understanding to identify, one, to acknowledge that your heart is broken, because we do this thing where we will act as if everything is okay, right? We're smiling. hmm We're going along. We're doing all the things. Yeah. Hey, yeah, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right? So acknowledging that something is going on is number one. Your heart, number one, is your heart reflects your spirit. Number two, guarding your heart. Guarding your heart. This is how the heart and the spirit is connected. Number two is guarding your heart. Proverbs 4 and 23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This means being intentional about what influences your emotions, your thoughts, and your spirit. Here it is: toxic relationships, negative self talk, and unhealed wounds can weigh your heart down and disrupt your spiritual alignment. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. I said toxic relationships, negative self talk, and unhealed wounds can weigh your heart down and disrupt your spiritual alignment. I don't know about you, but I've been in a few toxic relationships. I've had some negative self talk. Some of us out there, and it may not be you. I don't know. That's great. It's great for you if you've never experienced your negative self talk. I call him the devil. He sits on your shoulder when you have that negative self talk, whispering in your ear, saying all of the negative things. All of your insecurities get really loud. All you can hear is, I can't do it. I'll never do it. I won't be able to do it. All of the things, right? That negative self talk will weigh your spirit down, right? It disrupts your spiritual alignment because my God says, I can do all things. Hello. All things through Christ who strengthens me, right? But when your spirit is off, okay, I'm not a preacher. I'm not a preacher. Number three. Number three is forgiveness and release. How many people know forgiveness and release can weigh your spirit down? Holding on to pain, to grudges, to past hurts can create a spiritual block. When they say that forgiveness is not for the other person, that forgiveness is for you, I promise you, and everything I love is true. It is not for the other person. And you don't even realize how much of a toxic poison, when you have unforgiveness in your heart, it is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to pass away, right? You are killing yourself slowly. And so holding forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the wrongs. This is huge, guys. It doesn't mean that what they did to you is okay now, right? But it frees you from the emotional chains that keep you stuck. Your heart heals when you allow yourself to release what no longer serves your spiritual growth. If you are struggling with forgiveness, again, on the podcast, Reflection CMG, Choosing Me Guilt Free at YouTube, I talked about forgiveness. It is under the Demonic Entity series. Forgiveness was something that I struggled with for a long time. There are people that have done things to you, and some people I found that you can forgive fairly easy, right? I talk about my journey on the forgiveness podcast, on that episode. I talk about my journey of talking to the guy who sexually assaulted me, right? I talk about that journey. It was a lot easier for some reason for me to forgive him than to forgive some people in my family. And it was very strange, right? You would think that somebody that had done something so terrible to you that it would be maybe harder to forgive that person. But I talk about it and I break it down and I go through the steps, one, of identifying if you're struggling with unforgiveness, and then two, how to break free and the benefits from breaking those chains and letting that negative energy go. Okay, number four, love and gratitude as spiritual tools. Love is one of the highest vibrations of the spirit. Practicing gratitude and love not just toward others, but also toward yourself. This is huge. This is what my programs is all about. If you would have just asked me, right, some years ago if I loved myself, I would have said, girl, you're crazy. Yeah, I love myself. But my behavior, right, was not mirroring that of self love. Again, if you go to the podcast, Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free, that is under the relationship series. That is the very first episode, that relationship with yourself, and identifying some ways that you may not even understand because it's so subconscious. It's called unworthiness in the belly. Some things are so subconscious, you don't even know that they're there. So you may think that you're loving yourself, but it may not be showing up in your actions. If you're staying in toxic relationships, guess what? That's a self love thing. If you're overeating, guess what? That's a self love, right? That's a self love situation right there. And so, again, the show's only 30 minutes. I don't have time to get into all of it. So, going over to the podcast for all those details. But I'm telling you, it is something when you start looking at what you do and why you do it and how long have you been doing that, right? And then you'll realize, wait a minute. Okay. I said a heart filled with love and gratitude aligns with a spirit that attracts peace and abundance. We're going to say this word peace a lot because that's what we're striving for. We're striving for peace every day. And who doesn't need a little abundance? I need a lot. I don't know about a little, I need a lot of it. A lot. Number 5, in the reason why it is so important for you to pay attention to the heart and the spirit connection is healing the heart to strengthen the spirit is necessary. You have to heal the heart to strengthen your spirit. So, practices like prayer, meditation, journaling, this is a word, intentional solitude. hmm That means some time by yourself. Sometimes we're so busy out going and being and doing and being for everyone else that you don't take the time to just sit and be with yourself. Give some time to yourself so that you can strengthen your relationship with God. Wake up in the morning. My pastor now, Pastor Deborah Hope, she talks about all the time waking up in the morning and spending those first few minutes with God, right? So that you get your spirit right for the day. Yes, intentional solitude can help to cleanse the heart and strengthen your spiritual core. When your heart is whole, your spirit can rise, allowing you to live in alignment with purpose and joy. Now, we talked about one of the number one things that affects your heart and your spirit is bitterness. So I wanted to go in a little bit on bitterness because some of us are struggling with bitterness and we don't even realize it. And so these are some ways to identify bitterness in your life. Identifying bitterness is crucial for healing and spiritual growth. Bitterness often disguises itself. It disguises itself as self protection, but it can silently poison your heart and your spirit. Okay. So I have these three. Let me see. I have these 6 things to identify if you are struggling with bitterness. Here we go. Constant resentment. Do you frequently replay past hurts in your mind? Do you feel angry or bitter when you think about certain people or situations? Resentment keeps wounds fresh and prevents emotional healing. I had a situation with a family member where I wouldn't even see that family member for long periods of points of time. But when I did see him, all of a sudden, uh, uh. just like that, you know, something to say. My whole attitude would shift, right? It was just the negativity that would come on me, uh, right? Constant resentment, feeling angry, that bitterness, holding it. That person is gone on. Those people are gone on about their day. They're not thinking about you. They on to the next. And here you are again drinking poison, watching them, waiting for them to die, and killing yourself slowly. Number 2, this we are identifying bitterness. Number 2, difficulty forgiving. Do you struggle to let go of the past? Maybe something that somebody done to you. And this is hard sometimes because some people are very trifling, right? They have done some things to you, and it's very, very hard to let those things go. Do you feel like forgiving someone would mean that they got away with what they did to you? Bitterness makes forgiveness feel impossible, even when it's necessary for your own peace, right? Difficulty forgiving. Y'all go over there and watch that forgiveness video. I promise you, your girl had a problem. I had a problem. But what I noticed was that I was getting sick. I was holding the resentment and the bitterness in the pit of my belly, and my legs started swelling up. Inflammation came all over my body. It is next week. We'll talk about how emotions show up in your body, but it was the emotions. It was the bitterness. It was the anger. It was the unforgiveness, and I was just holding on to it, and it was killing me slowly. Number three is cynicism and negativity. Do you find it hard to trust people or expect good things? Are you one of those people? Oh no, nothing good is ever going to come to me. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh no, I'm not going over there. I don't trust. I don't know about that. Do you often assume the worst about others' intentions? I don't know what that girl about to do. Oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't know what. I don't know what they have going on over there. I ain't gonna be able to do that. Right? The bitterness is holding you hostage, boo. A bitter heart can lead to a negative outlook affecting relationships and opportunities. What are you keeping yourself from? What opportunities are you keeping yourself from holding on to this bitterness, thinking that something is going to happen, assuming the worst, right? You won't even try. When my baby girl was little, it was a show she used to watch, Yo Gabba Gabba. Try it. You might like it. You don't even know if you're going to like it because you're, I ain't doing that. I ain't going over there. Number four, emotional triggers. Do certain topics, people, or memories bring an intense emotional reaction? Do certain topics, people, or memories bring an intense emotional reaction? Now, we talked about PTSD a couple of weeks ago, and triggers are really, really, really real. And not even knowing what your triggers are. That's one of the reasons why I started this self mastery program. It is one of the things that we do is identifying what your triggers are because I had no idea what was triggering me. I would be seemingly feeling fine, and then all of a sudden, I'm in a panic attack. My emotions are high. I'm upset. I'm mad. And I don't know what is going on. And I couldn't control it because I didn't understand that, one of my triggers was I would see this white and black blazer driving to work. Well, I would go into a panic attack. Well, my stepfather that passed away, used to drive this blazer. And his death really affected me. He was a sounding voice and foundation in my life, right? And so it affected me. So I didn't understand that when I saw that white blazer driving to work, that it would just send me to another place. The subconscious mind family is so strong. And so you have to be intentional about identifying these things. So we're number four, emotional triggers. Do you feel angry or sadness bubbling up unexpectedly? This unhealed bitterness often hides beneath the surface until something triggers it. Number five, harshness in words and actions. Do you find yourself cutting remarks or feeling irritated easily? Do you struggle with showing kindness or compassion, especially toward certain people? My brother used to say this to me that I will just slice and dice him with my words. And one of the things that I realized in therapy and being very intentional about my healing journey is that I was upset with my brother. Subconsciously, I felt like I always supported him. But when we were younger, my brother left and we grew up in Baltimore. My brother left and came down here to Texas. Well, in my mind, I think very subconsciously because I didn't acknowledge this until recently, but I was upset that he left. He left me, in my little mind. I was younger, right? In my mind, he left me. And there was a lot going on, and I felt like he left me by myself to fend for myself. And so then when things would happen, I would slash out and would cuss him out and do things and say stuff to him and slice and dice him. And I didn't really understand why I would slice him so much, right? But it was because I felt like in my little head, I was like, you're being selfish. And in my subconscious mind, it was, he was selfish. You were being selfish. And all you were thinking about was yourself. And that's how it came out, right? I had no idea. If you would have just asked me, I would have said, no, what do I have to be mad at my brother about? No, I'm glad he came down. I'm glad he needed to leave. There was a lot going on. He needed to do this. But in my subconscious mind, he left me. And it showed up as me, cutting remarks and, being irritated anytime that something came up where I felt like maybe he was being selfish about something or not thinking about me in the situation. That's really what it was. I didn't feel like you wasn't thinking about me, you know. And so I was slicing and dicing with my words. And I talk about that too in that forgiveness video. And I have a video, demonic entities on anger. I talk about that in the anger video. I'm sorry. Number 6 is physical and emotional exhaustion. Do you often feel drained even without a clear reason? Or do you express stress-related symptoms like headaches, tension, or insomnia? Bitterness can manifest physically, family, draining your energy and your joy. Now, we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to go over this real quick. How do you start to heal from bitterness? We talked about it. Acknowledge it, right? Be honest with yourself about any resentment or unforgiveness. Number 2 is express your emotions. Journaling, talking to a trusted person, whether that's your pastor, your therapist, your family member, whoever it may be. Look, your girl in the 12-week reflection shoes and me guilt free program or praying can help release bitterness. My pastor always say, honey, talk to God. He's available all the time, 24/7. You don't need an appointment, right? But express your emotions. Number 3 is practice forgiveness. It's a process, right? But even small steps toward forgiveness can lighten your heart. I promise you now, when I think about the person, when I see them, it's okay. I'm fine, but it was a very intentional journey and it was a process. You might have your list of people like me. I had a list of people that I was going to forgive. That person was never even on the list. I had this whole list of people I wanted to forgive for doing things, and it wasn't even on the list. That person wasn't even on the list. The last thing is focus on gratitude. Family, shifting your mindset toward thankfulness helps replace bitterness with peace. What positive can you bring out of the crazy? That's Romans 8:28 to the 10th power. Well, family, I'm out of time. So y'all join me next week. We'll be on emotions. See you next week. Well, family, this has been another divine intervention. Thank you for tuning in to Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free with your girl, Miss Michelle D.I. Every week, we will have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations as it relates to your mind, your body, your spirit, and emotions. You suffered long enough. It's time to break free. So join me every Monday at 1 p.m. right here on KGLD Radio, where you can fill your spirit with gospel all day long. See you next week.